Hi, I'm Justin Boyd.
I'm Brittany Pacheco.
And I'm Franken Krupa.
And we are the Watchers in the Basement.
Welcome to a post Comic Con edition of the Watchers in the Basement. Yes, we're here today on this Sunday to talk about all that happened. Well, not all that happened, but all that happened with Marvel and DC at San Diego Comic Con this year. There was a ton of stuff. So let's just jump right into it. On Friday, Marvel had a animation panel, and they're talking about the upcoming animated shows that are coming to Disney Plus soon. And the first one's coming very soon. It is called I Am Groot. It's a series of little like digital shorts about the character from the Guardians of the Galaxy franchise. It's going to be like 5 episodes. I doubt the episodes are very long, probably 5 to 10 minutes at max. And there's going to be a season 2 later in the year. Did y'all get a chance to drop the trailer on Friday? Did y'all get a chance to see the trailer?
Yeah, I caught the trailer when it dropped, and it was very short. You know, Groot is a man of very few. Well, a tree of very few words. So not
Three. Just 3 words.
Just 3 words. And I like looking at Baby Groot. I think Baby Groot is just freaking adorable. I'm on the fence about watching this, even though I know it's going to be just a few episodes that are going to be very short. But I don't know. I'm on the fence about it. What about you, Frank?
Yeah, I don't know about this one, man. And I like Groot. Don't get me wrong. I think he's adorable, especially when he's a baby. I don't know how much dialogue you can create for a show when a guy who else has 3 words. You better have a hell of a supporting cast to carry this motherfucker, man. That's 30 minutes is a long time for a character.
I don't think it's going to be that long.
No, it's going to be like 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, the episodes are like very quick. They're going to be like 4 to 10 minutes, or I mean, probably 5 or 6 minutes max. So,
okay.
Yeah, and it's only 5 episodes, so in a half hour you can watch the whole thing, I think.
Okay, that makes sense. Then. I was really concerned about 30 minutes episodes of such a limited character verbally.
Oh yeah, no.
For sure.
No.
Real quick before we continue, let's just say hello to our friend Drew in the North. He's here in the chat. Drew, always appreciate it. Let us know what you're excited about with San Diego Comic-Con announcements. We're just starting with our Marvel animation.
Yeah, so I Am Groot will drop on August 10th, and like I said, there's going to be a season 2 later this year, so we'll be looking forward to that. And then not that this is a huge surprise, but Bradley Cooper is going to be the voice of Rocket Raccoon in this series. So I guess there's some question about that, but he's going to be back to do Rocket's voice. So the next thing on tap is What If Season 2. That's going to be coming in 2023. They didn't give a date or a, spring or fall or anything like that. They just What If Season 2. The only thing I really know about What If Season 2 is the creators of this show they pointed out that the Captain Carter that we saw in Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness is not the same as the Cap Carter that we saw in What If. What do y'all think about that?
Well, it's curious because with the Assembled, which is basically the behind the scenes of making any of these movies or shows, the filmmakers did kind of touch a little bit about the Captain Carter that we got in What If, that a lot of Peggy's costume was inspired from What If, but still it's not one in the same.
No, it's a different variant apparently. Which I think is weird, but
that would make sense.
Because it's like the variant where she becomes Captain Carter instead of Steve Rogers becoming Captain America. That's what makes it stand out. Why would you have 2 of those? But whatever. It's an animated show. Frank, what are your thoughts on that, or what are you looking forward to season 2? Or
I just think that was the writers trying to play into more of the multiverse stuff that's going on with this phase. It walks like a duck, cries like a duck. Looks like Sharon Carter to me. I don't know what.
It's the same. It's the same. Obviously, the same person's going to voice the character, but they're saying it's a different version of Captain Carter. So
yeah, and that's what I was going to say. I think they're just playing it more to the multiverse vibe of what Phase 4 is all about. So we remember our variants and Loki and all these different types of the same character in different multiverses. They're probably just playing on that.
Talking about variants, I got my Time Variance Authority
There you
TVA
go.
t-shirt on, so
There you
I
go.
came ready for this.
Yeah, that'll come into play a little bit later on too.
For sure.
So the next up, and speaking of what if, one of the what if episodes was about Marvel Zombies, which now Marvel Zombies will be its own show, streaming in 2024 on Disney Plus. Now, the one thing of note that I found out about Marvel Zombies is that it's going to be TVMA, so it's going to be
Nice.
it's going to go harder than What If did. What do y'all think about that? And as you can see, if you're watching us on YouTube, we have a couple of screenshots from Comic-Con. You've got a half zombified Icarus from Eternals, and then you've got a variety of characters who are zombified. You've got a Captain America, Captain Marvel, Abomination. Looks like a Wanda. So Brittany,
oh my gosh, I can't pronounce it. Dora Milaje from
right?
from Wakanda is up in here too. That's oh man, they're lethal just by themselves. Like imagine them in zombie form. I'm here for it. Funny enough, I really enjoyed this episode from What If when they were all zombies and they had to like navigate their day or their life to not become a zombie at the end of the day. I really enjoyed it. So I'm actually really intrigued to see this show, which is odd because of the very fact that I don't like zombies as a whole. Like I don't like watching zombie movies, these Resident Evil, The Walking Dead, none of that.
Right.
Not into it. That's almost the reason why I didn't start watching Game of Thrones, because I literally thought that the White Walkers were zombies. I'm like, I do not need to see a child that's like a zombie killing all these people.
They were zombies, just of a different.
I know, but that's why I didn't want to watch Game of Thrones. Anyway,
right.
Sidebar. But I'm actually really excited to watch Marvel Zombies just because I really did enjoy the episode from What If season 1.
Yeah. So Frank, what's your thoughts on Marvel Zombies? Did you read the comics or do you know much about the zombie storyline?
I don't. The episode I saw on What If was pretty dope. I think it'll be a good show. I mean, to see I was a big fan of Walking Dead for a while before they kind of went off the rails a little bit. So to see a zombie version of these heroes, and we might get more heroes that we haven't seen in the regular 616 in this. So seeing some more possible character appearances of people who haven't seen before in the past, I'm all for it. I mean, it's a very interesting concept, but Marvel has done a pretty good job as far as introducing new types of shows to us. So I'm all for it.
Yeah. So the next one up they talked about, I think this will be the one that'll be of most interest to everybody, is the X-Men 97 series, which is dropping in fall 2023. And this series is going to pick up the. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. That was awesome. Good job with the song there. Which we saw that we heard that song in a recent episode of a certain Disney Plus show. But anyway, this is picking up where the animated series back in the day left off. It ran from 92 to 96. This is X-Men 97. If you're watching us on YouTube, there's a couple of screenshots that shows some of the X-Men characters in this one. And one thing of note is they've already announced that X-Men 97 will have a season 2, which I'm not sure if it'll be called X-Men 98 or if it'll just be season 2. But Brittany, what are your thoughts on seeing this and this upcoming series?
Listen, I love X-Men. We talked about this in our previous pod going over Miss Marvel. You're right, Justin. The little theme song from X-Men was played out at the very end of Miss Marvel. Y'all need to go check that out if you already haven't. It's totally worth it. But truth be told, I was very young when this show aired. I mean, obviously reruns ran for a couple years. And I remember watching X-Men, the animated series. I just don't remember it well enough. Like I'm sure Frank would with the storyline. I mean, I always remember liking Rogue. I think her look was super cool. I always loved Wolverine, Cyclops, of course. So for me, I need to go rewatch before I can pick back up with this new series. But I'm super excited for it because this is definitely a callback to my childhood. Frank.
I'm ready, man. I'm ready. And I feel like there's been so many different adaptations of X-Men since the first one that came out in 92.
Right.
Yeah, X-Men. Yeah, X-Men. It's not first class, but when the teenagers.
Yeah, there's a couple of them. They're also on Disney Plus. They're
Yeah,
out there. Yeah, there's one just based on Wolverine.
yeah,
Also.
Wolverine the X-Men, which was really good, but it was only a season. You have the anime
Right.
X-Men. I mean, but nothing quite hits home like the original for me. And again, one of my favorite storylines of all time is the Phoenix Saga in this version of the X-Men back in '92. It was like a whole season. And like I remember just kids just being stressed coming to school Monday morning, like, man, you saw what happened to Jean, dog? Is Jean gone? And the Shi'ar Empire, like so to see a lot of that recreated in this version, I'm all for it.
What do you think about the artwork that you're seeing on the screen now?
Very retro. It reminds me
Yeah.
of '92. Like it's retro. It's and like X-Men. I mean, kids today would never understand how popular X-Men was.
Yeah, it was huge.
It was-
Huge.
it
In the
was-
90s, like they were as big as Batman or
Yeah.
Spider-Man or Superman. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you had the Power Rangers, you had Batman, Superman, X-Men was right there. I know the Avengers, since the MCU has taken off, and the Avengers has been like the main team over the last decade, but this was the team. This was the team, and like the movies never really quite encapsulated what this team was, as far as the animated version goes. But again, man, I'm excited. I know people my age and in their 40s are gonna be like kids again once the show comes back on.
Yeah, this was a series that I have not seen every episode, but I remember as a kid when I did get to see this show because I believe it was on Fox when it aired, and my family for a long time we just had the three basic channels, which were ABC, CBS, and NBC, because we lived in a rural area and so we couldn't pick up anything. So when I was like at my grandparents' house, when I did get to watch this show, it was always like a thrill because it was like I remember thinking as a kid, it was like the storylines were very like adult. I mean, you know what I mean? Not like they're like cursing or there was like, sex or anything like that, but like they didn't feel like other cartoons to me. It felt like it was more like a real kind of uh storyline. So I'm looking forward to this coming back. And also, it's worth noting that all of the voice talent who worked on the original is returning for this. So that's pretty impressive for that long of a
Holy, you're kidding me.
yeah. So it's
That's
like
awesome.
like they're legit just like picking up where they left off and continuing. And one image that we don't have in here that I would want to talk about real quick, but you can't see it, is so Magneto is now the new leader of the X-Men in this storyline. That's continuing. So I think that's kind of cool. I mean, I don't know what Frank, what are your thoughts on that with
No, it's perfect because the last season of X-Men, Professor X was in a coma. He was in a coma in the Shi'ar Empire. Leandra, who's one of Professor X's many loves, the Shi'ar Empire, they took his body out of space and he's in a coma. So I mean, if they're picking up right where the old episodes took off, that makes sense. Yeah, so it was in X-Men was only 4 seasons. The original series, it wasn't that long, but yeah, I think that's pretty dope. I mean, and like in the comic books, the X-Men had multiple different leaders too. Like Cyclops was a leader for a little bit, and Wolverine was a leader for a little bit, and Storm and Magneto. So yeah, I mean, it wasn't always Professor X.
Yeah,
and he co-founded the X-Men too. So
yeah, no, it's just a really cool shot of him because he like the character has like this long, flowy gray hair. He doesn't have the helmet on, so he's got the big M on his chest.
He's pretty ripped too.
It looks pretty cool. Like I'm looking forward to this. The final thing they talked about on Friday was Spider-Man Freshman Year, which is coming sometime in 2024. Now, so this says it's an animated series that follows Peter Parker on his way to becoming Spider-Man in the MCU, starting with his freshman year of high school, right? The problem is, I don't see how in the hell this is going to be an MCU Spider-Man show because in this show, some of his like he faces off with Doc Ock, and he's friends with Harry Osborn, and Norman Osborn's in this show, and it's a black Norman Osborn, and Harry Osborn. If you're looking at our images right now, the upper right corner, the football player, that's Harry Osborn in this series. So it's a very different take on Spider-Man, but supposedly it's the Tom Holland Spider-Man. Tom Holland's not going to be voicing the character, but I don't really see how it's going to be MCU canon. And also, by the way, Daredevil, Mr. Charlie Cox is going to be voicing Daredevil in this series, and as you can see, he has a pretty cool. It's like black, light blue, almost like Batman's kind of costume, and
No, I'm pretty
red
sure
trim.
that's black, just an ode to the Daredevil series that has Charlie
Right.
Cox in it before he gets the suit. So that's kind of cool. Listen, I will say this about this and then X-Men, of course, 97. The fact that we're taking this back, if I'm not mistaken, back to like 2D animation and not this, Pixar kind of look to it. I'm here for it because again, that is reminiscent of all of us growing up with
Yeah.
cartoons, right? And any sort of animation, it was all flat. It was all this, maybe obviously this has a little bit more comic book style because of the shadows and things like that, which is very appropriate. But I agree with you, Justin. Not sure how this could fall under the MCU umbrella unless they're taking this in a different direction altogether.
I think it might be a multiverse thing because from all accounts, it sounds like Norman Osborn is like Peter's mentor instead of Tony Stark. So I don't.
Okay.
I mean, the thing is, like the character, the Spider-Man character looks very similar to the Tom Holland character in a lot of ways, but the supporting cast is completely different. And the fact that he's
Mhm.
like facing off with Doc Ock and he's like Scorpion, like all these like legendary characters from
Yeah.
back in the 90s and before. And like we've seen these characters in the MCU and they're not this way. So I'm not sure.
Right.
Frank, what do you think about this series?
To me, from what you're explaining, it should have been better off just a one-off, like not connected to anything.
Yeah, I agree.
Especially if you're going back to his freshman year. Like, I mean, we kind of, I feel like we kind of went through that already, watching him in the MCU. But I mean, I guess you try and bring in a younger audience too. I understand. Like, it's been a while since Marvel had kid cartoons out there, like as far as like on a consistent basis. So I guess I get it as far as like the audience you're trying to bring in. I love the Daredevil outfit. I think it's super dope. I'm gonna watch it just because I'm a cartoon guy and see where it goes. I'm hoping they don't make it too complicated.
Yeah, I agree with you, and I think that the main reason why we're going to see this series is because they own the animated rights to Spider-Man. So, or at least I guess they own the animated rights of this Spider-Man, which is kind of strange because obviously there's Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, which is an animated movie, which is a Sony film, but Spider-Man's a super popular character, so this is their way to put the character out there and have their control over it. And they've already announced there's going to be a Spider-Man sophomore year, so we're going to get 2 seasons of this show at least. So I'm looking forward to it. It's the animated stuff isn't my favorite stuff, but I think that it'll be well done, and overall, it looks like it's going to be cool stuff. Let's move on to Saturday morning, where Warner Brothers and DC Comics, they took the stage at Hall H, and it was kind of underwhelming. And it wasn't totally their fault, but let's get into their first offering, which is Shazam, Fury of the Gods. It's the Shazam sequel. This movie comes out December 21st. They dropped the official trailer. I think the trailer looks great. In the trailer, we see the Flash, we see Aquaman, we see Batman, and these are all like from the Snyder cut. I mean, at least the Flash scene is from the Snyder cut, so that's kind of interesting to me. Brittany, what do you? Also, I'll point out that Helen Mirren and Lucy Liu are the villains in the film. Brittany, what are your thoughts of Shazam: Fury of the Gods?
I am not a huge DC fan. This has already been determined from many podcasts prior to this one. It took me a while to finally watch Shazam. And that was when it was, I guess it's on Netflix or whatever platform it streams on. But I did enjoy it, but it's not enough for me to like even go out of my way to watch the trailer. So therefore, I have not watched the trailer. I love the idea that Helen Mirren and Lucy Liu are villains because I absolutely adore Helen Mirren in general. And I think Lucy can be such a badass when she wants to be. So that'll be kind of fun. I can't take Zachary Levi seriously in this character. I
Oh,
absolutely just cannot.
no,
So
he's great. He's great. This
no,
character.
no.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that he can't perform the role or anything like that. It's just this image, like he's just so goofy looking and just like
Well,
hi, kind of thing.
in defense of him, I'm trying to grab a screenshot from a trailer, and that's the
That's
best
fair.
I could do. So that's my fault.
That's fair. But he's
Yeah.
still like goofy looking. Like he's like this real ripped kind of guy, and he's like having a burger or whatever, and he's like,
Well, in the scene which the screenshots from, he's sitting across from Helen Mirren, and he has a really good Fast and Furious joke, which is so like on the.
that's so appropriate.
It's so well done because she's in those movies, and so
Yeah.
it's kind of like a meta joke. But
yeah, I know. Real fast, I want to say what's up to Nick, all the way from the UK. Nick from Walking with the Woods. Appreciate you being here in a live chat, going over Comic-Con news. So let us know what you're looking forward to.
yeah, good to glad you're on with us, Nick. We appreciate it. Frank, what are your thoughts on Shazam: Fury of the Gods?
I love the trailer, man.
Yeah,
I thought it gave me vibes of the first one. Like it's gonna be funny. You got man-child playing the hero. The kids grew up fast, man.
Yeah, they're big.
They're like big. But I guess it makes sense because the first one came out like 4 years ago.
It was 2019. Yeah, it was like 2019.
Yeah, so I mean, you talking about
they filmed it probably 2018, 2017. Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, teenagers at that point they grow up so fast. But I love Helen Mirren. I got a crush on Lucy Liu. So as far as the cast, man, I'm all for it. Making Good's back. So I'm ready. I'm ready for more laughs. I want to see what more. This movie does a great job of like it's like a PG Deadpool, like the whole like making fun of themselves. So I want to see what they do within the framework of DC and what Easter eggs they might have going forward. Because we don't know nothing about DC as far as like their plans going forward. I mean, just
Frank, DC doesn't even know what DC's doing. Like, let's just be real.
That's the one thing about this panel is that they didn't talk about anything that's like coming in the future. They only talked about the immediate future. The movies that we already knew were coming out, that's all they talked about. They didn't talk about anything in the future. I mean, they've got a lot of issues, but
and that's just so sad because like they took the floor before Marvel, and Marvel just unleashed the next.
They weren't right before. They had a long buffer in between. They let like the Lord of the Rings and they let like Game of Thrones go in between because
I get that, but what I'm saying is like Marvel unleashed like the next 50 decades worth of movies and content. Where in DC is like we just have two. We just have two in the next year or so.
They have more, but I guess they didn't have enough to.
Do they though?
No, they do. They have a lot of stuff in the works. I mean, hey man, Joker 2 with like Lady Gaga maybe playing Harley Quinn.
That
sounds
fair.
amazing. Now that's not confirmed, but that sounds amazing if that happens. The thing about this movie and Frank, you nailed it. It does feel like a PG version of Deadpool, and it honestly, I've said this so many times, but it's like a Marvel movie, but in the DCEU.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like it's what the DCEU needs more of, because like the action is awesome and like the villains are cool and it looks great. It's good to have a little bit of fun mixed in with your brooding, serious superheroes. I mean, if you want to be serious, cool, but like if you're going to be serious, you can't be dumb. Like you got to make sure your shit's good. If you're gonna be serious, then be Christopher Nolan and be the Dark Knight, and then be bulletproof, and then fine.
I'm Batman.
But if you want to be serious, be serious and be real about it. Don't leave open massive plot holes that people can drive 18-wheeler trucks through. On to the next offering from DC. The Rock was there on stage. The Rock actually appeared in costume as Black Adam. The Black Adam movie actually comes out October 21st. They dropped a new teaser trailer for it. This movie is interesting to me. I actually think this movie looks pretty cool. The Rock's been talking about this movie since like 2008, and that's not a joke. He literally has been like attached to this movie since 2008, and it's finally coming to the silver screen in October. The Rock is going to be, Black Adam's going to be introduced along with the Justice Society of America characters like Dr. Fate, Hawkman. Those are pretty cool characters. So I'm glad they're finally getting on going to be, in the theater.
Pierce Brosnan's back, bro. I'm so excited, man.
Yeah, he looks good. Yeah.
Yes, he looks great.
Yeah.
You can see him as Dr. Fate, which is essentially the Marvel version of Doctor Strange. But I mean, to see him in the fold, man, I'm excited to see that.
Yeah. Brittany, what are your thoughts on Black Adam and The Rock playing a superhero?
Couldn't care less.
Couldn't care less.
Sorry, I'm just. I don't get excited when I hear anything from DC. I just don't. I'm sorry.
If The Rock was on this, he would say, it doesn't matter.
Listen, my response to him, can you smell what I'm cooking? And it's something better than whatever DC produces. So, I mean, it looks cool. I mean, I've seen the trailer, obviously, when I watched Thor Love and Thunder. I mean, that's fine. I think the costume looks kind of cool. I know I made mention to you, Justin, because I literally know nothing about anything DC related. The fact that it's funny, both Black Adam and Shazam have like the lightning bolt on their costume, which you shared with me that Black Adam is basically Shazam's main villain. So mind blowing for me. Anyway, yeah, I don't care. I'm sorry, I don't care.
Well, and I think The Rock, since The Rock's playing Black Adam, he's not going to be a villain. He's going to be an anti-hero. And that's even kind of mentioned in this.
Why is everyone trying to be like a Deadpool these days? Like,
well, I mean, it won't be like Deadpool really at all because it's not going to be as quippy and funny. But
appreciate it, Nick. You and I are on the same level. DC just doesn't do anything for us. It just doesn't. Sorry.
Yeah, no, I can understand that. Frank, do you have any other thoughts on Black Adam?
I have a lot of thoughts on Black Adam. I think Black Adam might be the crown jewel of DC if they do it right. Like,
right.
I know Black Adam is a adversary to Shazam. I don't know if they're gonna cross over. They should cross over eventually, but I mean, The Rock he's a phenomenal actor, and Black Adam is a very, very powerful ancient god. So if they do it right, this could be the next popular superhero outside of Batman and Superman. If the story is done right, but the action looks great. The cinematography looks wonderful. So I can't wait.
So this movie is rumored. Remember, I'm just saying rumored to have a Superman cameo at the end of it, but it's reported to be once again a faceless Superman, much like what we saw in Peacemaker and in the end of Shazam. And the reason for that is our next topic from Comic-Con is the fact that Deadline last week, which is a reputable source, they said that Henry Cavill was rumored to be there. And when a source like Deadline says that, it gets people excited because, hey, this is a legit source. And people are expecting that Henry Cavill to be there. He was going to, return as Superman. They have a new Superman movie in the works or something, and he wasn't there. So that was a bummer. And, it's not really Warner Brothers' fault because they never said that he was going to be there, but it felt like they needed something big, and bringing back Superman after not having a Superman movie since 2013 and him not appearing since, the Snyder cut, but that was, obviously filmed like in 2016 or 15. It's like, how long can they go on with not having a Superman? It's crazy. It's a big bummer for me because I was excited solely for the DC panel to see Henry Cavill back as Superman, and it didn't happen. Brittany, what are your thoughts about Henry Cavill and what's going on with Superman and all that stuff?
I think it's probably in Henry Cavill's best interest to move away. I'm sure he has other opportunities. Obviously, he was in the recent Mission Impossible movie. Obviously, he stars as Geralt of Rivia in Netflix.
They're filming right now, season 3. Yeah,
right, and so he's got other opportunities going on now. I will not object to seeing a shirtless Henry Cavill in any sort of show or movie. However, I will throw out who I think will be the faceless Superman and maybe even show his face. I think it's going to be Homelander.
They're going to get Anthony Starr to play Superman?
No. And not just Anthony Starr. It's gonna be Homelander.
Homelander. That would have been huge for Comic-Con if they announced that Homelander was going to be in one of their movies.
A crossover.
That would be crazy. Frank, what are your thoughts about Henry Cavill, the rumors, and then the fact that it didn't happen? What's going on with Superman?
I truly don't care. I truly do not care anymore. I mean, Warner Brothers they found a way to fuck up the bag with Henry Cavill so many times. Like, I don't like they could place Groot as Superman. I wouldn't give a fuck. Like, I don't really care about Superman at this point. Like, they find ways to alienate almost every single actor or actress coming out of that WB property. Whether it's Gal Gadot, whether it's the guy who plays Cyborg, whether it's they've alienated so many people. So it's like, at this point, I'm just gonna enjoy DC for what it is. Like, for the little single highlights they have with certain heroes, but I have no confidence that they'll get the Superman thing under control. They fucked up the bag on that one.
Yeah, I'd like to see. I think that it's ridiculous that Superman's not in a movie. Like, Superman is like, I mean, think about the word superhero. Superman is the superhero. Like, he was like the first. He has the best powers. I mean, he's not the most powerful, whatever, but like, when you think of a superhero, he's usually the first person you think about. And the fact they don't have him in the movies is crazy. But I gotta say, go ahead.
It's so bad. Like, when the Snyder Cut came out, was that last year?
Yeah, 2021. Yeah.
So when that came out, they had all these different rumors about, well, it might be a different Justice League from this universe. We might have a black Superman. We might have it's like, dude, stop! Don't make any multiverses. Get the regular verse correct.
Right.
There's no Justice League in this universe. You've ruined everything. Don't make any more multiverses or any more Justice Leagues. You don't have the bandwidth to do that.
If they do make a multiverse, can they make a multiverse where both Superman and Bruce Wayne's mother is not named Martha?
Well, they do have a multiverse. They do have a multiverse. They've done the multiverse on the CW with the Arrowverse shows. And they have it.
Oh, sorry. And also, let's not make Metropolis across the river from Gotham City.
Right.
We need that to be corrected.
Yeah, let's put some space in between the world's greatest heroes. And also, the multiverse apparently is going to be kind of reset with the Flash movie, if and when that ever comes out next summer. But honestly, like, DC does have a great Superman right now, and it's on Superman and Lois on the CW. That's a great version of Superman. Now, it's not the movies, but I enjoy that show. They wrapped up season 2 about a month ago, and that's a great version of Superman. So I'm okay, but he should be in the movies. I mean, come on, this is ridiculous.
Yeah, it's been what, 4 years since the last time we saw a Superman on screen, on the big screen.
Yeah, Justice League was 2017.
Like, to have no contract dispute put to the side, or nobody under contract from the last 4 or 5 years to play Superman, that's unraveling to me. That's amazing to me.
Yeah. So Henry Cavill's not coming back just yet, but Zack Snyder is returning to DC, sort of. It was announced on Saturday that Zack Snyder, the famous director of the Snyder Cut of Batman v Superman and, of course, Man of Steel, he's going to have a special guest appearance on an upcoming episode of Teen Titans Go, which will air on Cartoon Network this fall. So I wonder if we're going to get a Snyder Cut of this episode. I wonder if people are going to get mad if it's not enough and attack Cartoon Network, bombard them with hate mail and abuse.
It's like 7 hours of this Teen Titan Go cut.
I've never watched the Teen Titans Go. I know it's popular. They have like a couple movies and they have multiple seasons, but I've never seen it. Frank, have you ever watched Teen Titans Go?
No, I haven't watched Teen Titans Go.
Yeah.
No, I like the grown up Titans better.
Yeah, it's definitely aimed at like a younger audience, but apparently it's like got a sense of humor. I think that's the reason why Zack Snyder is going to be a part of it. It's kind of, they're kind of making fun of DC stuff and maybe even him. I'm not sure. Brittany, what's your thoughts on this? Do you have any thoughts?
I don't care. Let's move on to talking about Marvel.
Let's move on to the main event. I mean, that's fair.
I don't
On
care.
Saturday-
I'm still pissed. I actually watched the entirety of the Snyder cut, so Zack Snyder can go f himself. I don't care.
Well, I like the Snyder cut, but I get what you're
Good for you.
Okay, let's move on. Saturday night was the main event. Marvel Studios took over, and once again, they just, I mean, the hype that Marvel can dish out is no one can match that. No one can. And as you put up here on the screen, Brittany, we now learned that Phase 4, 5, and 6 are going to be referred to as the Multiverse Saga. Just how Phases 1, 2, and 3 were the Infinity Saga. Now we're in the Multiverse Saga, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, and we're coming up on the end of Phase 4, which we didn't know about until Saturday. The next thing on tap is She-Hulk, Attorney at Law, which is coming to Disney Plus on August 17th. It's going to be a comedy series, 9 episodes, about a half hour. They dropped a new trailer, and in the trailer, Charlie Cox's Daredevil, he's back again, along with Hulk and Abomination. Brittany, did you watch the She-Hulk trailer?
I did not, because
Did
as
not.
previously stated in the Miss Marvel
Yeah.
pod, that I'm not particularly looking forward to She-Hulk. However, I will give it its, I'll give it a try. I'll walk in good faith. I don't have any expectations, and like Miss Marvel, that actually ended up being in my favor because I really did enjoy it. Maybe I'll actually enjoy She-Hulk. Who knows? But I'm excited that Charlie Cox is going to be in the show as a great way to further welcome him back into the MCU. So yeah, I mean, I just couldn't care less about this, truth be told. But before we really delve too much into this, I do want to say that for those out there who have been just saying like, Marvel doesn't know what they're doing, we don't know what direction we're going in. The fact that we now have a clear direction of Phase 4, 5, and 6, known as the Multiverse Saga, I hope that just puts a rest to those arguments. Like, in Kevin Feige, we trust. Okay, they know what they're doing. Y'all just gotta be patient. Okay, that's all I have to say, Frank.
Thoughts on She-Hulk, Frank? Did you watch the trailer? What do you think about it?
I didn't watch the new one. I watched the previous one,
The original one, okay.
But the fact that Charlie Cox is in it, it's going to be exciting. I know it's pinned as a comedy, and Daredevil is a very dark character, so
Yeah.
I wonder how his aura is going to fit with the theme of the show.
Yeah, I think he's just going to cameo. I don't think he's going to be like a reoccurring character.
Gotcha.
But the way they dropped him in the trailer, it's pretty cool. It's the very last part of the trailer. He kind of appears on a rooftop, and it's cool.
Yeah, no, I'm very excited about the show. I want to see the synergy between She-Hulk and Mark Ruffalo's Hulk's character. I know they're cousins, so to see that family bond throughout the show, I want to see how that turns out. I want to see how powerful they make her, because she's very, very powerful in comic books.
Yeah,
I kind of want to see how they gauge her strength in this series.
Was the CGI a lot better in this trailer than previous? Because there's been a lot of concern over the CGI.
It looks better. I mean, it's still
Okay.
not probably what people maybe want, but it looks good. I think it'll be fine. Honestly, I don't think it's a problem.
If you say so.
Yeah. So let's move on to the final entry in Phase 4. And this is the big one, because we finally got the first trailer for Black Panther: Wakanda Forever. They dropped the trailer. I think we have a lot to talk about with this. Brittany, what did you think about when you saw the trailer?
Bravo. Just absolute perfection. I love the fact that with the song that was playing in the trailer, and Frank said it well off screen, that you weren't given a whole lot of story, and that's what really brings you in. But God bless Angela Bassett. That woman is legend. I cannot wait to see her performance again as the Queen Mother in this movie, and the direction that has been taken since obviously we lost Chadwick Boseman. And I could rewatch that trailer again and again, and I'm gonna still feel some kind of emotion behind it because I think it's just something that needs to be addressed in the sense of experiencing loss or the fact that we lost T'Challa, and I know that Ryan Coogler is gonna have put a beautiful will put a beautiful take on it, and I was really excited to have watched this trailer. Frank, what are your thoughts?
Speechless, breathtaking, visually astounding, majestic, African pride. It's all of that. With the untimely death of Chadwick back in 2020, we didn't know. Ryan Coogler has done a great job of keeping everything under wraps. We still don't know who's going to be the new Black Panther.
Yeah.
We don't know anything. I mean, the only thing we know is Namor is going to be in it, and the coming conflict between Wakanda and Atlantis. But man, I watched this trailer like 7 times last night. I was just trying to catch things, trying to see I get a snippet of something. I think Namor's parentage and his origin story is going to be explained pretty well in this movie too. Like even the visuals of the underwater birth with the gills and the fins on his feet, and the side by side of him as a child walking on shore and as a man walking on shore. Everett Ross. I mean, all these different characters coming back. It's gonna be one of those movies where the supporting cast is really gonna have to not only hold their weight, but act beyond what they normally act because you have such a powerful entity in Chadwick that's not there anymore. But I'm excited. I mean, seeing Riri Williams, Ironheart, seeing her cameo, so much to unpack in a 2-minute trailer that didn't really tell you much. But
Right.
I can't wait to see what happens November 11th. I can't wait to see what this does for the rest of Marvel going forward. I heard a rumor about this. I don't know how true it is, but the rumor is that you might get Dr. Doom post-credit scene.
I've heard that too.
Yeah, so if that happens, man, you might get some Illuminati type of vibes because Dr. Doom, Namor, the late Black Panther, Doctor Strange, all part of Illuminati. So
yeah,
can't see what happens with this movie.
This trailer is a very emotional trailer. Like the music cues are like they nailed it. You're right. It's visually stunning. It doesn't look like really anything else. And we see Namor. We see kind of like it looks like a war between Atlantis and Wakanda. I'm interested to see how that comes about. Then you see like the Chadwick Boseman, like a mural of kind of him, almost like what they kind of did for Tony Stark in Far From Home. But obviously, this is not just the character; this is the person. So, my question, I think this is the biggest question with this movie, is how are they gonna? I mean, they talk about his death. That his mother talks about how her family is gone, which is interesting because what does that mean for the little sister?
What does that mean for Shuri? I mean,
Right,
is she not part of the family anymore? Like that's kind of messed up.
And I wonder how they explain how he died. I mean, because he was a part of Endgame. He survived Thanos and the snap. I wonder how they explain how he died. And then my last question for y'all, we can talk about all this. Who do you think is in that suit in this image that we see on the screen right now?
So I think to answer your question about explaining T'Challa's death, Frank, correct me if I'm wrong, but there is a storyline where T'Challa does die and the mantle is passed on to that of his sister, or it's someone else.
He doesn't die.
He's in a coma.
Yeah, Dr. Doom sends an assassin, and he's in suspension, in suspension. And during that time, his sister takes over the mantle. At first, the Panther gods didn't grant her power only because she was a cynic. She wasn't really a believer of the gods. Mm-hmm. But eventually, she gets that power and becomes the Black Panther. So I don't know how they're gonna go about it in this because, like you said, Chadwick died in real life, and I don't know between Endgame and now, not much time has passed. I mean, if you look at the other movies that's come out, so maybe the conflict of Atlantis. Maybe I don't know. It's a good question how they're gonna explain his death in the movie. But man, when it looked like Angela's talking to the UN. And when she's giving that speech,
right?
That one line, I'm like, what the fuck? Like it, like I had to fight back tears because like Angela, she went deep down to her diaphragm to pull that out of feeling real emotional, actually losing Chadwick in real life, and see that play out on camera, man. I saw that one line, I'm like, she gonna fucking win an Oscar off this shit. It's very, very powerful.
So to talk about who could be in the suit, of course, this is the backside of whoever is in the suit, but we see a lot of gold, and the gold is very reminiscent of when Killmonger wore the Black Panther suit. So how, if they could bring back Killmonger to assume the mantle of Black Panther, I don't know how they could explain that. If they somehow manage to do that, it better make sense. But the fact that, to me, there was a big part of me that really wanted Shuri to assume the mantle, but the build of this picture that we're looking at, it, to me, it looks more of a man as opposed to a woman. I could be wrong, but I would think it would be cool that it's Killmonger in the suit. Frank, what do you think?
I mean, the goal does throw you off for sure. Again, like you said, Bria, how do you explain that? I mean, the man died on the mountain as Chadwick's holding his body. So I don't know. Is he like healed? Is he like in a hospital off screen and like Shuri's taking care of him? I don't know. Are we pulling like a Bucky type situation where he's in suspension for 2 or 3 years, as you know, till they find something to bring him back? I don't know, but I mean, you have some prime candidates. You have Shuri, you have M'Baku, someone from the Dojo Milaje, maybe. It's gonna be tough to say. But they did a great job not giving us too much as far as like who's gonna carry that mantle. So
body type wise, I don't think it's Winston Duke. You know what I mean? He's a bigger dude than that person there. Now, there could be multiple people that have the mantle in the movie, or maybe it's passed on during the movie. Who knows? I mean, I think that's probably, a possibility, given I think that anything could happen in this movie. But it really, like, you look at that, I thought Killmonger too. I was like, man, the gold, like, that would be, I mean, the one thing is I don't see how they could keep that a secret. Like, that movie's been in production for a long time, and they've had to rework it for various reasons. And if Michael B. Jordan's going to end up being the Black Panther, like, how would that not get out? You know what I mean?
Let me put it to you this way. We didn't know about Mr. Fantastic's cameo until the movie came out, right?
Well, true. Well, for most of us didn't. Yeah, that's true.
For most, I know you haven't learned to get off social media when a new movie's coming out. That's fine. But my point is,
I'm a person in the world. It found me.
Are you? Okay.
Yes. Okay.
Either way, my point is that was very, 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 very closely wrapped. That did not leak until the movie was out.
The difference is that was a cameo and the character was killed off in 5 or 10 minutes. This is, if Michael B. Jordan is the Black Panther, he's going to be Black Panther going forward, I would.
But if Ryan Coogler is doing his best to keep things under wraps, I mean, he's going to do whatever it takes to keep that under wraps.
That would be amazing. I mean, that would be super cool. If that, I just like, to me, like, just in the world we live in, people talk. It's hard not to like. It's hard to keep a secret like that.
Camera phones, people.
Yeah, there's
set.
Right.
So, people always was taking pictures of the set from far off. So
if he was at the airport around the same time any of those other people were, whether they shot it, I don't know where they shot it. Probably some of it was in Atlanta, other places too. Like, there's too many ways now where that information gets out, where in the past that didn't happen. So anyway, we're all looking forward to that. November 11th, Black Panther: Wakanda Forever. That's going to be awesome. So that's the end of Phase 4, but they mentioned there's two things that they didn't mention when they were okay. So there's two more things coming up this year. There's Werewolf by Night, which is supposedly coming out in October, and there's the Guardians of the Galaxy holiday special, but neither one of those were referenced, but those are supposedly coming out. So I'm not sure, but let's talk about Phase 5. And we're going to fly through these because honestly, there's not a lot of information, but we do have some title cards. The first thing in Phase 5 is Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania. It's coming out February 7th, 2023. Kang is going to be the main villain in this movie, and he is going to be the main villain of the whole multiverse saga, it sounds like. Do y'all have any thoughts on this movie? We know nothing really, but
Not really.
not
I think
really.
they said that Bill Murray was supposed to
Bill Murray. Yep.
have an appearance. Sure. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, not a whole lot to say on this. I mean, I like Scott Lang
Mhm.
as Ant-Man. I'm just, the movies just really don't wow me. I put them kind of on the same spectrum of like Guardians.
Yeah.
They're not my favorite.
So up next, we have Secret Invasion, which will be a Disney Plus series, spring 2023. From what I've heard, this is going to be a darker series, which makes sense given the title of it, because it's going to include, Nick Fury and Talos, I believe, from
Mm-hmm.
the last was Spider-Man Far From Home was the last time we saw these characters. So
Yeah, it's been a hot minute since we've seen Nick Fury,
yep,
like the real Nick Fury.
right.
And Amelia Clark will be in Secret
Yeah, she's in
Invasion.
this. Yeah.
I'm excited to see Mother of Dragons again.
Yeah. So after that is Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, May 5th, 2023. I think you can expect some characters to die in this movie, from what I've heard.
Really?
Sounds like Drax might be a goner.
Oh, we have kind of talked about this in the
Yeah.
past, that Dave Bautista was kind of wanting out.
Yeah, he wants out.
Mhm.
I don't know if y'all saw this because it wasn't supposed to be seen by the people who weren't at Comic-Con, but this movie is going to focus heavily on Rocket Raccoon's past. And there's a shot of him as like a baby or as like a little raccoon, and they show it, and like it's adorable. So
You mean he's not a rabbit?
right, he's not a rabbit.
Mhm.
So Guardians Volume 3, there's a lot of stuff we'll talk about in the future once we know more, but that's coming up.
Do we find Gamora in this movie?
I would think you'd have to, right?
I think you have to at this point, yeah.
Supposedly this is James Gunn's last Guardians movie. So it's the end of the story, as he says. So we'll see.
Thank God. Sorry.
Up next is Echo, which is coming to Disney Plus summer 2023. It's going to be after the events of Hawkeye. Maya Lopez continues in New York City. And we're going to have some Daredevil characters in this show. So once again,
Woo!
for all you Charlie Cox fans, you're going to get a lot of this guy. He's going to be all over the multiverse saga. Seems like
We're
he's gonna
getting a
be in
lot of
everything.
Cox.
A lot of Cox in the multiverse saga. A lot of Cox. That was perfectly set up. Good job. So let's keep the train rolling.
Man.
The next thing is Loki season 2 coming summer 2023.
Currently filming in
Yeah.
London.
I think we're looking forward to this one. There's not a lot known about that, and that's fine with me. Do y'all have any quick thoughts about Loki?
Is he ever going to see Thor again?
That's a good question. I don't know. We'll see.
I would love for the paths to cross one more time, man.
Yep.
Well, I'm excited about it. I love the first season. Apparently Kane's gonna be a real big character.
Oh yeah.
From here on out. So I wonder how Kang is gonna play a part in Quantumania, Loki, Avengers, or whatever properties that come out.
I mean, again, this is the multiverse saga. So however many variants of Kangs there are out there, I mean, he's kind of been unleashed, so he's gonna fuck shit up.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be cool when it comes to the Avengers. Yeah.
So next up is the Marvels, which is coming July 28th, 2023. Miss Marvel will join Captain Marvel in this story with Photon. So looking forward to that one. The next one that we have an image for, though, is Blade. And check out this image. What a badass logo.
So cool.
So ready.
Blade,
So
November
ready.
3rd, 2023. Mahershala Ali is starring as Blade. That logo is bad. That logo is just like, we don't have to finish the letters. Like, you know what this is. It looks cool as hell.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, can't wait for that. After Blade is Ironheart, which Frank mentioned. We're going to meet Riri Williams in Black Panther Wakanda Forever.
Can't wait.
This is going to be her series and coming to Disney Plus fall 2023. So, solo Ironheart series. She is of course a student who, like a genius student who basically takes over the mantle of Iron Man. Frank, talk about it.
I just wish they would have just actually like introduced her when Iron Man was alive.
With Tony, yeah.
Yeah, but like he was like a mentor to her in the comic books, and like even when he was in a coma, she took the mentor of Iron Man for a little bit too. So I kind of want to see how they. I mean, I know they're gonna probably like sync her storyline with more with Black Panther, but man, it would have been nice to like see kind of when we saw Hawkeye on a smaller scale, how he passed the mantle to Kate. It would have been kind of dope to see him pass the mantle to Ironheart, but. Nah, Riri, she ain't the one to be messed with, man. She's very bright, MIT student.
Yep.
I don't want to say too much, but like she's one of the more brighter minds. Like she's sheer level of intellect. Bruce Banner, Tony Stark, she's up there. So can't wait to see her.
In the Wakanda Forever trailer, you see her creating her suit, or she knocks out the heart. So next time you watch that trailer, she's the one hitting that heart symbol. So that's super cool.
That's cool.
Up next, winter 2023, we have Agatha, Coven of Chaos, which this was originally called Agatha, House of Harkness. So they retitled it. I think, we enjoyed her from WandaVision. So we got Agatha coming.
I think this is a more appropriate title, just because she talked about the chaos magic and then what it would do and things like that. So I think this is a smart change in titling. And I think Catherine Hahn, is that her name? Yeah. She was absolutely great as Agatha. So I'm looking forward to this show.
Yeah. Up next, we have Daredevil, Born Again, spring 2024. The Man Without Fear returns. Charlie Cox and Vincent D'Onofrio reprise their roles as Matt Murdock and Wilson Fisk. And it's going to be 18 episodes.
Yes.
What do y'all think about that?
Give me all the Cox, okay?
I gotta wait fucking 2 years, bro.
Yeah, but Charlie Cox is gonna be in everything else. The dude's gonna be like working nonstop.
Well, like he was on a bench for like 4 years.
That's
right.
True.
But
he's got to get back into that shape. He's got to do all the moves, and that's what I actually really appreciated about Charlie Cox, is that he trained, like he really did train for this role as Matt Murdock, Daredevil, and I loved it. I loved his performance. Thank you again, Frank, for telling me I needed to watch this version of Daredevil, because good Lord, if we only ever had the Ben Affleck version, I think I would no longer be an a Marvel fan, period.
You're very, very welcome. But no, I mean, Charlie Cox, he's my favorite. Outside of Charlie, he's my second favorite Marvel actor in all of the MCU. Like the way he encapsulates that character, the training that he puts into his body to film live his own stunts, the ongoing drama between him and Kingpin, and I can't wait to see how that plays out too. The future of these Marvel shows, I think, can hinge on Daredevil. They can carry the mantle for a long time, because I mean it's just a character
for sure.
And with the crossover with Spider-Man, all these other character properties, man, Daredevil's gonna be around for a long time if they do it right. So
Yep.
After that, we have May 3rd, 2024, Captain America, New World Order. Sam Wilson is the new man with the plan. I hope we get Sam Wilson and Bucky in a tag team match against Hollywood Hogan and the Macho Man Randy Savage. New World Order, man, which also was the title of the first episode of the Falcon Winter Soldier, which I thought was interesting. So,
I didn't catch that.
Yeah,
you know, I literally took it as kind of like, oh, they just swapped out the A from NWA to O, but you know, that's fine.
Yeah, it's gonna be too sweet, no doubt about it. Next up, we're moving along here. The final movie the final Marvel content in Phase 5 is Thunderbolts, coming July 26, 2024. There are apparently, according to Kevin Feige, there are several characters in this film that we don't even know yet. So we're going to meet these people along the way. I do think that one of the former Captain Americas, John Wilson, is going to be a part of Thunderbolts along with Yelena Belova. And Frank, what do you know about the Thunderbolts?
This is gonna be interesting because Defense Attorney Ross was the guy who put together Thunderbolts.
Right,
Yeah.
that actor died.
And he's gone.
Yeah, the actor died. So I don't know. I don't know if he originally played a big part in this on screen version, but if he did, I wonder how they're gonna update that. But
They'll probably tie it into this was like his initiative, but he
Yeah.
didn't live to see it through. But they're still naming it after him because it was his initiative. I can see them spinning it like that.
Named in his honor.
There
And
you go.
I believe that Julie Louis-Dreyfus' character, which I can't think of right now, I think she'll be the
Val.
leader. Yeah, Val.
Yeah,
She'll be the
Val.
leader of the Thunderbolts. I
That
think.
makes sense.
that'll be fitting. That'll be fitting.
That works.
Yeah,
I can get with
I
that.
can see it.
So now let's go to Phase 6, and we don't know a ton about it, but we do know Phase 6 opens November 8th, 2024, with Marvel's first family. Yes, the Fantastic Four.
Blah.
Now, we don't know who the Fantastic Four is, but we do know that D23, which is Disney's big event, is coming up in September 9th to the 11th. They're expected to name the cast at that point. So we'll find out then. Hopefully Krasinski will be Mr. Fantastic, but I don't know.
Or
We'll
maybe
see.
he'll direct.
They don't have a director, and there's rumors that Steven Spielberg might direct the movies, which I don't believe, but I honestly don't think I want that, but
No, I don't want that.
we'll see what happens.
I really don't.
Frank, you have any thoughts on the Fantastic Four?
I hope it's John Krasinski. Strange kind of ruined it for me.
Oh
Yeah.
no.
But
remember, that is the 838, Mr.
Yeah,
Fantastic, not the 616.
yeah, I know, but
Okay.
still, I don't. That all that temporary casting shit for that movie was annoying to me. It was just in the way. Like I want the real shit. Give me the give me the whole.
You want all the cocks? We
Yeah.
know. We got it.
no.
Charlie
No,
Cox.
no.
Charlie Cox.
But no, I mean, I'm excited for it. I want to see again. They have to explain this. Where the fuck have they been? Same with the X-Men. Where have they been in the comic Thanos and
Exactly.
in New York? Because they're in the Baxter building is in New York. So
Yep.
I'm just kind of just waiting to see how they play this out. Since it's an ongoing storyline that took place back in 2010.
They're probably gonna take the same approach as like the Eternals. Like they can't interfere with life.
Maybe. We'll see. So in Phase 4 and Phase 5, there are no Avengers movies. Phase 6 is going to have 2 Avengers movies within 6 months of each other?
6 months of each other, yeah.
May 2nd, 2025, we have Avengers, the Kang Dynasty, which, I mean, that sounds amazing.
Sounds like a basketball dynasty.
What's that?
It sounds like a NBA dynasty.
I know. And then, okay, so May 2nd is the Kang Dynasty, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then November 7th, also 2025, to wrap up Phase 6, we'll have Avengers Secret Wars. Yes. How crazy is that?
Oh, Frank's all about that. Look at that. Look at that reaction.
I'm so ready. I'm so fucking ready, dog. Oh my god. Though if we get a Beyonder in this motherfucker, if we get the symbiote, the Spider-Man symbiote suit debut in this motherfucker. There's so many characters debuted in Secret Wars. I want to see how they do it because in the original Secret Wars, that's how Spider-Man got the symbiote from outer space when Beyonder had all those guys fighting, and a lot of characters debuted in Secret Wars too. So I want to have the show because that comes out 2025. Yeah, the Secret Wars TV show comes out next year, right?
2024.
Mm-hmm. 2024.
Oh, okay.
Wait, hold on. No, I'm sorry. Secret Invasion is spring 2023.
Okay.
Oh,
so that's next year. Yeah.
Okay, next year. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's two different things going on. But no, I love this. I can't really see how this plays out. And when new Avengers comes out too, when new guys joins the team.
We got 2 Avengers in 2025. Okay, so obviously we talked about all this. The one thing that we didn't see, and I think Frank, you're gonna notice this. There's no X-Men yet, so I wonder, will the X-Men come before Secret Wars? Will they come after? What's your opinion on that?
There might be a way how they introduce the X-Men through the multiverse Secret Wars. That's the only way. You can't have that powerful entity of a team just come out of nowhere and don't explain where the fuck they were at when Thanos attacked and Loki and all these different intergalactic threats. So I'm thinking Secret Wars is going to explain a lot of these characters coming out as far as X-Men.
And then something else you'll notice on this slate of movies, there was no mention of Spider-Man. That's because it's a Sony partnership. But I think there will be a Spider-Man movie somewhere in the next 2 or 3 years. There's got to be. There's just too much money out there. It made 1.8 billion. The last one did, so it'll be out there at some point. The last thing I wanted to point out to y'all is this week, a lot of these movie titles that you saw, these trademarks became. Marvel registered several of these titles as trademarks, and there's a ton of them out there, but there's a couple of other ones that are still out there that might point to what's coming in the future, including one called The Nomad, which is a Steve Rogers story, which could be the way they bring Chris Evans back to the MCU. There's a Hercules Rise of the Gods, which could be a way we see Brett Goldstein, and also where we see Thor again. That's interesting. There is a new Shang-Chi and the Wreckage of Time. So that could be coming. The Midnight Suns could be coming. The Black Knight Origins, which is the
Kit Harington
character. There's also Captain America Red, White, and Black. What a title.
Okay.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
All right.
There's also Avengers Academy, aka the Young Avengers.
All right.
Avengers Excursion, Avengers Timeless, and there's a Red Guardian title. There's a Red Guardian Generation is what it's called.
Oh, Lord.
I mean, and then there's one called Celestials End of Time. So Marvel's got a lot of stuff in the works.
Like I said, they've got a lot of stuff, and DC only brought 2.
Last question from Comic-Con. What are you most excited about? Brittany, I'll go to you first.
I mean, because it's coming out this year, Black Panther, Wakanda Forever. It's been something that's, I think, been on our minds since Chadwick passed, and to see how they move on without him, but also honor him and remember him, and the fact that that's one of the last pieces of phase 4 before we start obviously going to phase 5. So, I mean, there's a lot to look forward to. I'm actually really glad that, for one, all this phase 5 and phase 6 should answer everyone's questions about what is the direction that Marvel is going in. What is this, like, who's going to be the big bad? That's obviously going to be Kang. And I'm hoping, because this is obviously multiverse saga, it's going to seem like it's expanding, but it's still going to come together. So I just hope a lot of people out there are content with that.
Frank, same question. What are you most excited about from what you heard about from Comic-Con?
Oh, Black Panther. Easily. Yeah. I mean, we had to talk about it on The Boys. Was it Thor podcast last week about I was being worried about not getting a trailer. I was like, I'm sure one's going to come pretty soon. Yeah. So for them to keep it on the wraps for as long as they did, man, I can't wait to see how this propels the rest of Marvel. I can't wait to see how that propels Ironheart's character too, going to her TV show next year. I'm really excited about that property and seeing what actor and actresses arise to their occasion with Chadwick being gone. So yeah.
So I agree with y'all also, but just to be different, I'm going to say the Avengers. I'm so happy the Avengers are coming back. I mean, not that I was like ever questioned it, but like we're going to get 2 Avengers movies now. This is if there aren't like, scheduling changes or whatever, which there could be, but the fact that you're going to have an Avengers movie in May and another Avengers movie in November, like that's crazy. And the rumor is the Russo brothers are going to direct the Secret Wars. So
I heard that they were not coming back in any
They've been
fashion.
talking about it so much though. They can't stop talking about it. I
mean,
I don't know. It's
I don't
weird.
know.
it's weird they're talking about a property that no one is in charge of, and they keep talking about it. Like, where there's smoke, there's fire. So
I don't disagree. I'm just saying I've heard a rumor saying the complete opposite, that they're exiting from the MCU world. So
okay.
it would be interesting. I hope they come back. Don't
Yeah.
get me wrong. We'll just have to wait and see.
Yep, we will. Hey, Brittany, how can people find us online?
So we are on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Simply search The Watchers in the Basement. We are also on the road to 100 YouTube subscribers. I am happy to say, as of this recording time, we are at 76 subscribers. We are so close to hitting our 100 YouTube subscribers. So thank you to all of those who have been with us throughout this whole journey. Thank you for those who continually share this podcast with everyone. And you know how to do that by using hashtag Watchers Basement. Use that on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Spread the word. Help us grow. Don't forget to like this video if I haven't already mentioned that. Really helps us out as well. That way others can check out our pod. And last but not least, if you're not into video podcasts, you can also find us on our audio podcasts through Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and Spotify, thanks to anchor.fm. Don't forget to give us a 5-star rating. Helps us out a lot. Back to you, Justin.
Yep. Thanks, Brittany. So for Frank and for Brittany, this is Justin saying we'll see you next time. Thank you.